Good morning, everybody. This is Diane, and I have this wonderful, fat, fun, big, juicy Christmas journal to show you. These are the most fun for me to make, I think. I have fun with all the journals that I make, but I just love the ones where I can just put stuff in without thinking about a theme, and anything goes. It's just so fun and releasing to me, and it's fun for me to look at them, too. And I hope that you will think it's fun and that you would enjoy actually working in this journal. It's a big one. It measures 7 3/4 across and 10 1/4 high. I just got this red ticking type of fabric in a Happy Mail from Pam. Thank you, Pam. And it was wider when I first put it on my table. It covered a little more of my space here, and then I was looking around for something to tie this book with, thinking I wish I had a piece of fabric big enough that would work. And then it's like, oh, of course, this would be perfect. So I tore a strip off it, and there we go. I tied it around the journal. This is made from a craft book, a book of crafts and recipes for Christmas time called Season of Wonder, and it said Christmas 1990 here. But I cut this off of one of the page headings, or it is a page heading that I cut off of a page, a season for celebrating. There were some other ones. Let me grab them here. I'm going to include these with the book in case you want to put them on one of your pages. Season for giving and a season for sharing. I did a video making and decorating the cover, so if you saw that, you'll know that I used a piece of patchwork that my mother made and never put into a quilt. She does beautiful work, so it's a nicely constructed piece of patchwork, and I put that on the spine, and it covers a lot of the back spine or back cover too. And then I added some feed sack fabric in a green and red plaid, and this twill, I added this after the camera shut off. I decided it needed something up here. And then this sawtooth binding piece I added, and vintage pom-pom. This book is very tactile. It's full of all kinds of textures. We have the patchwork here that you can feel. We have the ruffle out of a twill fabric. We have feed sack. We have pom-pom. And there are more textures inside. So let's go inside. We did this on the video the other day because this paper was torn here, so I had to cover it. So we made this patchwork design. I added this label so you can write your name on it. Inside, this is the patchwork piece folded over, and then this is from a vintage lap quilt. It was the backing on a vintage lap quilt, and I added some vintage red rickrack. On the edges of, let me get it so you can see it, of the pages, we have some fringe and very, very soft ruffle and a little more of the fringy fabric. These trims are from Switzerland. There's another one there. So lots and lots of textile visually and to be able to touch also. This is one of the headers on a page, Season of Wonder, which is the title of the book. So I just made a little label there. I stuck it on a punched out circle, scallop circle, and a piece of cardstock. And I made a pocket here and added this. Now there were several pages in one section of this book that were memory pages. You could write things about your Christmases. So I included several of those pages in the book, and I will put the rest, I'll just send the rest along with the book, and I don't have them right here to show you. But this one is about Christmas Eve, so it has places for you to write about your Christmas Eve. And on the back is a place for your photos. This is, I don't even remember if I got this at a flea market or if somebody sent it to me, but it was a little catalog. And I just wanted to take the front cover off it because the rest of it doesn't look Christmassy. It's just a book full of gifts that you could buy. But this is taped on, and I really like the order form part at the back, so you could journal on this. So you have the first 2 pages of the catalog. So I thought they were fun. There's a coloring page in this book, and this is the color diagram that shows one of the ways you can color the page. So that's how I made that pocket out of that. You'll see the coloring page. Here's some of the fringe trim from Eve, from her shop, the Snippet Shop. This is a piece of fabric that had been cut, and it had some iron-on stuff ironed to it, but I just glued it to a piece of cardstock and cut it out and put it on as a tuck spot. Mostly there were poinsettias and things like that, but there was one soldier and I forgot the other thing, but you'll see it. This is an old photograph. I got it in a batch of old photos, and I was so anxious to use that in a journal. I just love it. Old black and white photo of a Christmas tree. And I backed it with coffee-dyed paper, so you get that to journal on. A page from a children's Christmas book. Christmas music paper. There's just a couple of little graphic 45 pieces from an old set that are a tuck spot, and this is a digital file folder that I just tucked in there. You can write on it. There's a Santa Claus Coca-Cola playing card with a really cute picture of children and their dog, and wonder if they got that dog for Christmas. Here's one of the current fold-a-note cards. It's the Partridge in a Pear Tree. Some computer stationery with a row of stockings. I did some stamping on that. I did a lot of the Tim Holtz blueprint type of stamps in this journal. This page, it's a ledger page, and it has a strip of plaid fabric and this little snowman that I cut out of a piece of fabric. And here's a picture of, it's a scrapbook page. It's got a little button on it. And a vintage Christmas card from 1946 to little David Sturdivant from Great Grandma Carter. You can open that up and write on it. And I just made a tag out of a 6x6 piece of scrapbook paper. There's a beautiful gold. There's some more texture. It's a nice heavy doily. And some crinkly Christmas wrapping paper. This is from a craft book, and this was from the section on Christmas or holidays. Look at that pretty tree. Just added a little fabric tab. I sewed some of the scrapbook papers together to make the pages long enough, wide enough. And this is from a shopping list pad that I purchased at a flea market. I don't think it's very old, but that's where I got it. And I had to cut off part of it because that was a very long pad. This journal has the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Viewmaster reels and the pocket. They're all in this book. There's another Coca-Cola Santa playing card with a Tim Holtz ticket that you can journal on, sewed to the back. This is from another craft binder. You can see the holes where it was put into the binder. I just folded it over because it was too wide. And there's another one of those playing cards with the children and the dog. This envelope is a printable from Dreams, Etc. There was a set of, it's either 5 or 6 envelopes. And just an open house Christmas party card tucked inside. There's a nice fabric flip with a really cool printed photo or design of Santa and the reindeer and the toys he's leaving behind. Some lace and a piece of kind of an eyelet type of fabric underneath. This is one of the bags that I got at a flea market, It's double layered. So I glued the 2 layers together at the top so you're not dealing with all those layers. And there's a red and green thread threaded through there to draw it up. It was a drawstring gift bag. And I got a bunch of these at a flea market in different sizes and different designs. I loved this design with the angels on it. And it was the big one, so this was the only book it would fit in, and it just barely fit. So I made this big tag to put in it. And it has a page from this book, the pages that you would write on for memories. And it's a place to write your family's names and their favorite color, favorite music, favorite scent, etc. for a gift shopping guide for them to write in if, they can let you know what they like. And the back you can write on. There's a vintage, well, it's 1981 Christmas stamp. Double pocket here. This is a gift tag, and this was cut from scrapbook paper, and this is an old postcard. You can see where it was glued into a scrapbook. So that's a real vintage one. I have that in my digital kit of antique Christmas postcards. There's another snowman cut from fabric and some more of the Tim Holtz stamps. The other side of the partridge in the pear tree fold-a-note. This is a card from vintage Jingle Bell packaging. As you can see, it says Jingle Bells on it. You can write on this. You could glue something to it. You can write on that part. Decorate it any way you want to. There's another little vintage gift tag tucked in there. I made a vellum pocket. It's got snowflakes on it. I don't know if you can see them. And this little strip of the gift wrap. And a tall Christmas greeting card. I had a few tall ones, so I was able to use them in this large journal. I just added a fabric ruffle here. This is where I have 2 papers sewn together. This says Santa's List, and it's got some lines. So you can do some journaling there if you'd like. And I just added the Graphic 45 Nutcracker there. And I have the poem, A Visit from St. Nicholas, from an old vintage book. And it's on the front and back. So I just put some washi tape at the top because it's a brittle paper, so it was cracking a little bit. So, you can handle it, but you need to be a little bit careful with it. But it's got the entire poem on it. Second signature. This is a collaged kind of tuck spot that I made. It's got a library pocket made out of double-sided scrapbook paper and a tag and a couple other pieces. So there's a tuck spot behind. This is from this book, and it shows how to make a bow. Coffee dyed paper on the back. And then inside the pocket I have a vintage florist hang tag for poinsettia. Here's another piece of that fabric. It's a rocking horse, and then the cookie cutter decorations. Ledger paper on the back. Here's a coloring page, and I just sewed on a piece of trim with red embroidered flowers. Here's another fold-a-note with a Christmas scene. I believe there's a church you'll see on the other side. I made this acetate pocket with this piece that was cut from a vintage Christmas card, and I like this arrangement of the greenery and flowers and candles with the carolers there. And I tucked this vintage Christmas stocking. It would be a gift for a child. Someone would put the dimes in it, and there's a spot to put bills or a check, and then the child is instructed to take it to the Cayuga County Savings Bank and start an account. But it's just a really cute piece of ephemera, and I wanted to include that, so it is tucked into this pocket. Here's another reel, and this is on a scrapbook paper that has a bunch of little Rudolphs, so that's perfect. That might be in my postcard kit, I can't remember now. And Mrs. Cog Christmas ads, I had that printed from last year. There's that soft ruffle. This is a double recipe card tucked into this pocket from Dreams, etc. A fabric flip made with a piece of, I think it was like a guest towel or something. Wouldn't be very absorbent, so it's more decorative than useful. And a piece of red crochet lace. This has a gift tag and a piece of embroidered, green embroidered ribbon. This was from a Christmas Carol book. I just sewed a piece of lace on there. Oh, there was already something tucked in. I didn't see it because it was in all the way in, and I added this, but I'll leave them both in there. This is from my Christmas digital set. This is just a flash card. I had a set of these colored flash cards, and there was one that said Christmas, so I added that. Oh, I didn't even realize I had a tree on the other side. Here's another of the tall cards. Isn't that pretty? And this has some snowflakes printed on it also. Here's the other side of the Post-it note. There's the church and a stone house there with the lights on in the windows. It's a really pretty scene. This was just a little piece of red foil Christmas wrapping paper. Someone sent me a selection of small pieces of Christmas wrapping paper. And this advertisement is actually from another piece of wrapping paper that I got at the flea market last year. There's a piece of fabric ruffle there. Here's the packaging for those reels. And there's a invitation inside for an open house, a Christmas open house. You just have to pay attention when you put it back in. There's the back of it is lower than the front, so you have to find the back. And then some more Christmas journaling. And then the last signature. It's one of the fabric pieces, and it's a bow. I just put that on in the corner of the page. There's some of the trim from Switzerland. Another fabric piece. This is a vintage poinsettia seal, foiled seal. And this one just has a little gift tag. Glue seeped through the hole. You can open that up and write on it. And the last folded note card has a mouse in a Christmas stocking. There's the foot of the stocking. Another Jingle Bell card with a gingham bow. I had to put this ice skate stamp on there because it looks so much like the ice skate that I used to have. I grew up in the country. We had a pond, and my grandfather had a pond, and he was across the road from us, just down a little bit. We spent a lot of time crossing that road. And we used his pond because it was bigger and nicer, easier to skate on. So when the ice was firm, my brothers would go out and shovel the snow and stuff off of it and try to make it smoother. One year we all got Christmas or ice skates for Christmas, and it was so exciting. So we would go out on the pond and skate. My parents were the youth group leaders when I was a teen, and we had ice skating parties at our house and sledding parties. There's the last of the Rudolph Viewmaster reels, and there's this book. It's apart because I took the hardcover off it, but this is the entire book, so you get this twice. It had a little hardcover on it, and it was a Christmas tree ornament that I've had that on my tree every year for many years. but I don't have room for a tree anymore. This is out of this book. I just backed it with cardstock, and this is another piece of that Christmas wrapping paper that somebody sent me. This is wrapping paper I recently got at the flea market. This is a card. It's not old, but it's a 1950s image, and this came from a Flow magazine. I think somebody must have sent that to me in a Happy Mail. I've had it for a few years, and I just love it. This is from an old greeting card. And an old Christmas card envelope, recipe card inside. This is also from this book. This card, this digital is in my set. And there's a digital bingo card here. And this is from a vintage Christmas tablecloth. This came in a Happy Mail. Somebody made this, put this little cluster on it and stenciled it, and there's room for writing on that. And I made this cluster with a coaster and a gift card, gift tag. This came from scrapbook paper several years ago, and this came from scrapbook paper. Some wreaths stamped there. For the last long card, I just paper clipped it to this fold out of the music. It's the Wise Men, and there's the Wise Men on the back of this music page. So I'll just clip it on like that so you can actually see the Wise Men. There's a little mouse in the stocking. He's so cute. There's a glassine bag with snowflakes on it here, and I Mod Podged a bit of Christmas napkin to a tag. And I have a library pocket here with a Santa Claus image, another Santa Claus image inside. And on the back page, I cut this out of this book, backed it with some paper or cardstock, and glued it on as a pocket. And then I took this cut-off piece and made a big tag that you can write on. So this journal is now in my shop. If you're the first one to go get it, you can have it. Thank you for watching. I have one more Christmas journal to make, so I hope you'll come back for that one. It is this. Isn't that adorable? And I have the pages from this book and a couple of Hummel calendar pages to put in there. So I've got some cute things for that. So I'm having fun with the Christmas journals. I hope you're enjoying seeing them come to life. And this one is listed in my shop. I will link the shop below. And I will see you again in the next video. Have a creative day. Bye-bye.